Hello and welcome to Iron Port. This program is proudly brought to you by Ghana Revenue Authority, Goyle, PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services and Phoenix Insurance. It is powered by Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, the 20th of March has been designated as World Oral Health Day, and as a result, we got in touch ahead of that with dental care professionals to give us a few pointers on how we can preserve oral health. Take a listen.
Right.
When it comes to caries or gum diseases or tooth cavities, you are thinking first time.
Right.
You are thinking the diet, and you are thinking an available surface.
Right.
And of course, a host, a human being, and then the bacteria that will cause it. I know for a long time to the general public, cavities has been shrouded, the cause of cavities has been shrouded, thinking it is very, very complex. But let's find a way to break it down.
Right.
You eat food that contains reducing sugars,
Right.
refined sugar, high sugar diet,
Right.
very, very sticky. It comes to contact with a tooth surface. And then now there is contact time for bacteria to act on these sugars and break it down. And a byproduct of that is acidic in nature.
Right.
So that softens the mineralized components of the teeth, which is the white part first, and then gradually works its way through the dentine, then to the living part, which is the pulp.
Right.
And then the sequelae of infections begin. So one would think that, okay, then if I am cutting out high intake of refined sugar, brushing well, then that should suffice.
Absolutely.
But that is not the only thing. Now, even the type of brush that you are using is a risk factor.
Right.
So it's not just about the diet. Using very hard tooth brushes is a risk factor for oral diseases. High alcohol consumption is a risk factor.
Smoking.
Definitely, they go hand in hand.
And sometimes the diet as well.
And the mechanism around it tends to be complex, but it's a major risk factor. Then other systemic diseases, diabetes, and then systemic conditions. These ones are not diseases. For example, pregnancy. It will predispose you to some things. I mentioned earlier that the mouth contains a lot of blood.
Absolutely.
So when you are pregnant and the hormones are high, then the pregnancy also contributes at that point. But in itself, it would not be termed as a risk factor for tooth loss. The oral cancers, they are also a menace. They are there in the numbers. It's not very typical in our setting, but at the referral centers, they see a lot more.
Right. Let me come to Dr. Anson Usu and find out from you if there are any daily oral hygiene habits that we should follow as people. If I wake up in the morning, I know that the normal thing to do first of all is to brush my teeth. Sometimes I'm tempted to drink water before I brush my teeth. And then, that's the first thing that everybody normally should do. What's the daily routine in terms of handling our oral health as humans?
Thank you. So, looking at the risk factors that we've discussed already, and looking at the commonest condition that even bring people to the dental clinic, then it will inform what the common practices should be.
Right.
So, when we're looking at, saliva plays a key role in protecting our teeth and keeping our gums healthy. What saliva does is that it constantly rinses and cleanses around our teeth. But what we can do to help is what my colleague just did over there. Drinking a lot of water. It helps. Rinsing our mouths with water is very important. Everybody must make it a habit to rinse their mouth with water after every meal. Make it a part of you. If it's just plantain chips, if it's just biscuit, whatever it is, once you finish eating anything, rinse your mouth with water. We are not telling you to brush your teeth after every meal. No. What we are saying is that make it a habit to rinse your mouth with water after every meal. As simple as it is, it goes a long way to provide a lot of protection or contributes significantly to give you that healthy oral health we are discussing. That is one, rinsing your mouth with water. We encourage everyone to stop taking in fizzy drinks. Fizzy drinks do not do us a lot of goods.
You can mention, not brand names, but you can mention what fizzy drinks are so that people who are watching can appreciate.
Carbonated drinks, yes.
Drinks we find in tins, like
cans,
yes.
bottles, carbonated.
Absolutely. And interestingly, people at the port and people on the sea tend to take a lot of these. They don't have a lot of proper food. They eat a lot of refined food, take a lot of these fizzy drinks, and it doesn't help. It increases your risk of developing cavities very significantly. So we encourage that we all stop taking in fizzy drinks. Instead, you can take in a lot of fruits and drink a lot of water. We have a lot of our children going to school with a lot of these fizzy drinks in their lunch packs called their snacks and all that. We want to discourage this practice. Very important. So just like my colleague mentioned, sometimes people will have these conditions, toothache, various pains, and they find their way to a pharmacy. They buy a pain medication, they buy antibiotics, and then they are fine for a period. Then it comes again. The focus of infection has not been dealt with. It's more like mopping the floor when you've not closed the tap. And this is very dangerous because I've seen a number of patients that present what we call osteomyelitis, chronic osteomyelitis. What it means is that the infection has been long-standing to the extent that now the bone itself is infected, and there's a lot of pus from the bone that has gone all the way even through to the skin. And you don't want to wait till that point. So once you start having any pain, just present to the clinic. In fact, you don't have to wait till there is pain. We encourage that everyone will visit. We are talking about protective and preventive habits. To visit the dentist very routinely for checkups. Don't wait till there is pain before you go, as the practice has been. Most people don't brush the right way. He has a bigger model. Most people brush to and fro this way. Just go back and
instead of up and down.
So there are a lot of proper ways of brushing, but very simple ones that you can do is the method. So you point, he has a bigger model. So you point the brush towards the gum this way, then you roll it against the tooth and down. Instead of the back and forth. Back and forth has a lot of issues, and we don't encourage it. So towards the gum, then you roll it away. Point, roll it against the tooth and out. Roll it against it. For the chewing surface, you can do the back and forth you love to do.
Away from that, viewers, we also got into a very important subject, that is how to select a legitimate freight forwarder to avoid exploitation. Take a listen.
Is there any way I can do some due diligence or background checks before I contact you?
Yes, very so much. You could just walk into any GRA office, especially customs PMP office, at the head office, and then you can mention the company's name that you're trying to engage this company, A, B, or C. You want to verify if this company is certified by them. And they'll be able to tell you and show you proof that truly this agency or this entity is registered with us. You can again check with Registrar General because you use the TIN numbers to process BOEs and all of that. So you can verify as well, and then you can also go to the tax-paying office, the CTO offices, to verify if this company is really paying their taxes and then the SNIT as well. Because we need TCCs when you are doing renewals. You need TCCs.
TCCs, what's TCCs?
Tax clearance certificates. We get them from GRA to do renewals. You go to SNIT, you get your SNIT clearance certificate to do renewals. So GPHA requires these, customs require, every regulatory body wants to see these things before a recommendation letter is even issued from GIF or any of the association bodies to be given to you. So even if you have these documents, without a recommendation letter from the said association you belong to, customs is not going to process your documents.
In shipping, there's a saying that our word, our bond. So for me to be credible, my word must be who I am. So our word is our bond. So one, look at how reliable the person in terms of what he promises to deliver. That is one. Two, the timeliness of the company, because time turnaround in shipping is money. So any waste of time is loss of money or revenue. Look at the timeliness of the person. Look at the competence, the experience, the exposure of the person. Some of us believe that, like the earlier question, industry knowledge is crucial. So for an agency to be that credible and reliable, these are things you need to look out for. The timeliness, the customer relation of the person, the competence, the industry knowledge is crucial. Because, you see, when one does not understand the industry language, it becomes a challenge. How even custom agency processes started way back was because customs realized that most people in the industry did not understand their language. So they decided to train people to become proficient in their language. That is how come we have customs house agents. So that individual or company must have somebody who understands the language of customs. When it comes to processes, we have something called CPC. What is even CPC? Custom Procedure Codes. So when it gets to customs, for the ordinary person, I will tell you I'm doing transit, I'm doing transshipment, I'm doing export, I'm doing import. But I will use a code between himself and myself. I know what transaction I'm involved in. Because when we talk of export, we can have different forms of export. So depending on the code I'm dealing with, it will tell me the type of export I'm dealing with. Same as import. So industry knowledge is key. These are things you need to look out for so that you can reasonably say that this business is credible, that you can deal with.
In this era of technology, is it not possible for you to have a system where, like you have the Uber or Yango or the ride-hailing services, that when you pick somebody's car, the fellow drops you, then it comes, you should give the fellow a star. I mean, they give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. And that tells you that maybe you are satisfied, very satisfied, extremely satisfied with the fellow service. Can't you put something like that in place in a website? The fellow is looking for a freight forwarder. The fellow logs in there, logs on, and then looks at the credentials of everybody, what the track record is, the fellow's work output. I mean, how people have rated a person, and then the fellow will be able to make a choice.
So yes. So example, if you go to some companies, or most companies, those who have websites, you will see that you would have some comments from either a client who's patronized their services before, and so you will be able to know this rating. Also with GIF, what we've done is that there are membership grades. So we have platinum, we have gold, we have silver. So you know that when somebody is in a platinum level, it tells you the level of competency and exposure the person has. If somebody is on a gold membership level, that also defines.
And when someone is on bronze.
When it's on bronze, you know. So it spells out itself for you to know that, okay, these are the category of people certified I'm able to deal with. And if you have any challenge at all, you can always reach out to the Secretariat. We have branches in Tema, Aflao, KIA, Takoradi, and Elubo. So it's not just Tema or Accra that you can find gift offices. We are across. So you can just walk to any of the districts and then verify any membership you want to.
Okay. So let's take a look at the issue of unexpected challenges such as delays, customs issues, or even loss of cargo. How do you deal with some of these things? Because they happen in your industry. Yes.
I don't even see them as unexpected challenges, especially when it comes to delays. Because I believe delays are predictable. So I don't see them as unexpected. However, in an industry where there are so much or so many bottlenecks, where we have various industry players, where sometimes some of them renege on their responsibilities, delays do arise. Now, when delays arise, it brings or it increases the cost of doing business. One of the major challenges GIF we're having is we are pushing the GSA, that's the Ghana Shippers Authority, to enforce what you call an SLA, service line agreement, among all stakeholders because of this issue of delay in service delivery. Service line agreement, SLA.
Yes.
Now, we are pushing this agenda because a lot of times the freight forwarder happens to be the last resort that the client knows. So what the client knows is, agent is delay me. The agent is delaying my job. For you know, it is a problem which currently, as you speak, even to transfer boxes from MPS terminal to Golden Jubilee terminal is headache. Big issue. It has nothing to do with the freight forwarder. However, the client doesn't know MPS terminal. The client doesn't know GPHA. The client doesn't know Golden Jubilee terminal. It is you, the freight forwarder. he or she knows.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when this cost arises, it is the client who bears the cost. Bear in mind, no business entity is Father Christmas.
Yeah.
So the more the cost of the client, the more the cost of the commodity on the market. You and I will pay for that.
Yeah.
So in order to solve these issues, we are pushing what you call SLA, Service Line Agreement.
Yeah.
So that between GPHA, MPS, freight forwarders, all the other agencies, FDA, whatever, wherever the delay arose or wherever delay comes from, whoever is responsible for that delay pays for that cost involved.
Right.
That is one of the things we are doing to solve some of these issues.
Right.
We will go on break and then return with more news. Stay tuned.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Tell God, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Thanks for staying. It's time now for our local news segment.
In a bid to strengthen bilateral trade relations between Ghana and Burkina Faso, the Acting Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Brigadier General Paul Seydou Tanye-Kunlonu, received a high-level delegation from the government of Burkina Faso at the authority's headquarters. The delegation, led by Ghana's Special Envoy to the Alliance of Sahel States, Colonel Larry Bevrolate, included Burkina Faso's Minister of Industry, Commerce and Handicrafts, Serge Poda, Minister of Energy and Mines, Yakuba Zabre, Minister of Environment, Water and Sanitation, Monsieur Roger Barrow, and the Burkina Faso Ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency David Cabré. Key stakeholders from various sectors of the Burkinabe economy were also in attendance. The delegation averred that they are resolute to ensuring that Ghana's ports remain the preferred ports for Burkina Faso and the Alliance of Sahel States at large.
How can the authority also facilitate the transit operation that is using the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority corridor?
Brigadier General Tanye-Kunlonu assured the delegation of GPHA's full commitment to promoting trade growth and improving the economic well-being of citizens in both nations.
I would like to assure you that we will do whatever it takes to make sure that the vision that our two leaders have for our people in terms of how to boost trade, to ensure that the standard of living of both citizens increases within the shortest possible.
Ghana's Special Envoy to the Alliance of Sahel States, Colonel Larry Bevrolate, emphasized President John Dramani Mahamat's commitment to strengthen bilateral ties with Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger.
The Director General of the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, GPHA, Brigadier General Paul Seydou Tanye-Kunlonu, has urged stakeholders to collaborate in reducing the cost of doing business in Ghana's ports. According to him, this initiative will enhance the country's port attractiveness and competitiveness within the West African sub-region. He made these remarks during a working visit by the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, Anthony Sapon, and his team to the GPHA. The visit aimed to reinforce the long-standing collaboration between the two institutions to improve cargo clearance, facilitate trade, and boost revenue generation. Brigadier General Tanye-Kunlonu emphasized that only through strong collaboration can both organizations effectively achieve their goals.
It is our aim to ensure that the cost of doing business here will be as low as possible by reducing delays.
Echoing this sentiment, the Commissioner General reaffirmed GRA's commitment to strengthening its partnership with GPHA.
Although we do have different mandates and different functions, if we don't put synergy in, we will not be able to maximize the benefits and the results that we have.
He also expressed his appreciation to the GPHA Director General and his management team for their years of productive collaboration. In a related development, the Commissioner General and his delegation also visited Meridian Port Services MPS Limited, where they engaged with the CEO, Mohamed Samara. The visit aimed to strengthen collaboration toward enhancing government revenue. During the engagement, Mohamed Samara stated that the significant investments in port infrastructure at MPS Terminal 3 of the Port of Tema is contributing immensely toward efficient delivery of cargo to customers.
We have opened up markets. Before to ship to Dakar, you need to send the container to Al Jazeera for another ship to take it from Al Jazeera to Dakar. Today, from here, there is a weekly service to Dakar.
The Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, Anthony Sapon, along with his management team, held a deba with officers of the Tema collection of the Customs Division of GRA. The deba provided an opportunity for the Commissioner General to gain first-hand insight into their working conditions and to motivate the officers. Addressing the gathering, the Assistant Commissioner of the Tema Collection, Teresa Potaki, disclosed that from the beginning of 2025 to Wednesday, March 12, 2025, the Tema Collection has already collected 7.9 billion Ghana cedis, while awaiting its official revenue target for the year. The Commissioner of Customs, Brigadier General Zibrim Ayorogo, acknowledged the critical role of the Customs Division in revenue mobilization and urged officers of the Tema collection to remain committed to achieving this year's targets. The Commissioner General, Anthony Sapon, assured customs officials of improved working conditions to enable them to effectively perform their duties and contribute towards achieving the 200 billion Ghana cedi revenue target set for the GRA.
It is only when we make people matters number one that we can say we are building an institution. And then when we build a strong institution, then the revenue will follow, plus all other things. So,
the Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Brigadier General Paul Seydou Tanya Kulono, has assured staff of the authority of fair treatment and transparency under his leadership. Addressing junior staff of the authority at Edeba on Tuesday, Brigadier General Tanya Kulono encouraged staff to uphold hard work and discipline, stressing that these values are essential in achieving GPHA's strategic goals for the year. According to him, improved performance will ultimately contribute to increased profitability, which will reflect in better working conditions for employees.
Let's work hard, we'll be committed, let's be disciplined, and as I indicated, promotion will be based on fairness, it will be transparent, it will be equitable, based on performance.
For this week's Word of the Day segment, we will tell you what we mean when we say not in the maritime industry.
Not. A nautical measurement of speed equal to 1.15 miles or 1.85 kilometers per hour on land. The speed of ships is measured in knots.
Let us now take a look at the schedule of vessels that have berth in the ports of Tema and Takoradi at the anchorages of both ports, as well as those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. This is where we close today's edition of Iron Port. We hope you've been informed and educated. Remember, all Iron Port content can be found on our YouTube channel, Iron Port. Subscribe, like, and share our videos. Thank you for watching.